Bonjour, my name is Papi and today is the 8th episode of my Minecraft survival adventures. In the last episode, what did I do? I do not even remember because it's been a way too long time that I did not play and record. I think I did the big pink tower at spawn that I will probably put an image right there. And I also made my furnacery, I think, all the redstone at least, because I left without decorating. Why I haven't been here, why I haven't been playing for a long time is because my computer was dead. I had trouble with my power supply. And I could not play a decent amount because I will detail the reasons later. Between the reparation, between the fix of my computer and me starting recording this episode, I did some building just to get back to the game. Basically, I finished the decoration of my furnace. Let me show you. Oh. Oh, not again. Yeah, that's the second time that I die here because I did not place my I did not equip my boots with feather falling, so obviously I die from full damage. But those two clips was to show you that I made a hole just to have a quick access to the chest room because it was getting annoying to go through the circle and then underneath the guardian and etc. And now that I am in first person, let me show you the furnacery. As you can see, I finished the decoration and I transformed it into and I forgot the word. Yes. Okay, hold on. Okay, library. As soon as I turned off the record, I remembered the word. So I turned it into a library. So you have all the books and the empty shelves with the loom. And I just put a little lapis accent to remind of the dome. Yeah, it looks a bit overkill for a furnacery, and turning a furnacery into a library like fire books, it does not make it does not make any sense at all. But I like the wow factor, as I I liked the scale of this room. Before going further into this episode, I wanted to give a bit of details about why my PC was dead. Well, it was not dead, but my power supply was. What happened was that I could play like for 2 hours, or I could only play for 10, and I had a blue screen. No, not even a blue screen. My computer just shut down immediately. So why did it take so long? Because first I had to be sure that the problem was from the power supply, so it took some time for me to experiment and like be sure at 95% that it was from the power supply. Then I had to send it back, and this took a long time because they did not have it in stock, which means that they gave me money to buy a new one, and then I had to receive it, then replace my old power supply in my computer. So yeah, it took some time. But after repairing my power supply, I started to record this episode. I finished the recording and started the editing. Yes,
And then I had a lot of homeworks to do with my formation because yeah, I'm still in school. I'm working, but I'm in school. Like it's an alternating program. And I could not do much editing. Not that I was doing the homework, because I was procrastinating, but the stress was preventing me to do anything else productive. So here I am, I've done my homework, and I have an A, which is good. And I can now finish the editing. Let's get back to the video.
Doing the furnacery took me a couple hours, but I have other plans for this episode, and it is to fill this room, at least the right side, because I want to make a shulker sorter that I designed myself. I will show you just in a second in my creative work. And yeah, I basically have to put a lot of redstone, and it's a big project. I spent a lot of hours designing it, and I'm pretty proud of it. I know there's more compact version on the internet and even more faster versions, but this one I made it myself, and that's what counts, I guess, because I wanted to take the time and the involvement. Okay, involvement is a word, and what I meant is commitment, which is pretty similar. Basically, this thing is composed of two parts. You have the part where you separate one item from a shulker box. They both go their way. The items go through a item filter, and the shulker box is allowed to go through where the item just got. And then the item and the shulker box are reassembled here. And here this part is a bit of a storage, a buffer. And then you have the shulker box display, which means that when a shulker box is broke. Shit. Yes. Okay, when a shulker box is empty, I just right click on that, and the shulker box is just placed again with a full one. So just to show you a bit of the progress, I made a couple of... I started by doing the item and shulker box separator, and a little brat just came here and pranked me with shitter. What the fuck? Not a stone pickaxe. Okay, Akatsumero, thank you. He's my best friend and the one who makes the subtitle when he has time to do them. So here, shulker box with one item missing, and here the item. Let me show you. Or even multiple shulker box. And they all go through the system, and item is separated from the shulker box. And here I was developing the part where you have the filters and the shulker box, and basically I was trying to make them go with synchronous. Yes. I was trying to make the item and the shulker box synchronous through the hoppers. Not very English, but I hope you understood what I meant. And then was the reassembling part, when you have the item on one side, the shulker box on the other side. Shulker box dispense, item goes, break the shulker box, and I made this basically tileable, so I can just put them one block apart. And here you have the shulker box recycling part. I used the new mechanic of slime blocks not sticking to the honey blocks, and yes, it works pretty well. and it is pretty satisfying, I have to admit. Okay, basically you take all of those contraptions that I just listed and you smush them together to make this absolutely gigantic redstone contraption that is not compact at all, but at least I made it myself. Well, if I have the design for my redstone contraption, I do not have the resources yet, so all the resources I mean, because I do have some redstone in my shulker box, but don't think I have enough for such a massive project. So let me craft some components and I just get back to you. Okay, I have it all, and maybe more than I need, but yeah, I can finally build this monstrosity, and I was thinking about doing it in a time-lapse, because redstone builds are quite satisfying to watch built layer by layer, so let's go. Okay, the redstone is done. I've built 12 modules instead of 9 because I have I want some margin for the future if I want to add some grass or terracotta for example. I think everything is okay, so now it is time for the most anxiety driving part, which is to test the system. Okay, this is okay, this works. Now for the sorting part. Well, so I put stone. Okay, cobblestone. Plein de problèmes plus tard. After a significant amount of hours spent to fix all my problem, I finally done it. Because it was not only one, not two, but 3 problems that I had and was preventing me from sorting all the shulker boxes. While I was into the redstone part, I also made the item elevator for the input, and I also made the output of the shulker boxes when they are dropped, which means that now I have something functional. For example, if I want some stone, just click here, stone appears, and when the shulker box is empty, I right click and hop, it ends up here. And when I need a loads of stone, for example, I will always be able to take from the barriers or the chest above. Now, what is left for me to do is to do the decoration. I need to put walls and a roof above me, and I think I will be able to call this episode a day. A voiceover Papi here. Why am I speaking? Because I made a transition to the time-lapse, but it was kinda crappy. So here I am. My other purpose is to encourage you to watch the video until the end, because there is some bloopers after the outro. But for now, enjoy the time-lapse. So you can subscribe and hit the notification bell to not miss any new video, and you can comment and like to show me your support. Au revoir.
And it is time for the French struggle!
And you smoosh them together to give this enormous. Oh my gosh! It allows the shulker box. Okay, it's this side. Oh, okay. Let me start again. For the Nether hub. Fuck. After a significant amount of hours, after a